Storybox up.
On the 1st of April 2021, near I-75 and SE County Road 234 inches Mycanape, a routine observation quickly escalated when Deputy Sean McGuigan spotted a gold 2007 Chevy Suburban run a stop sign. When emergency lights came on, the driver Matthew Martin Richardson made a decision that would turn a minor violation into a full-scale pursuit. Richardson fled immediately, striking a curb and pushing into oncoming traffic as the chase intensified. The pursuit stretched into Marion County along US 441, where he drove southbound in northbound lanes and reached speeds of 100 miles per hour through a construction zone. Multiple PIT attempts were made, one even spun him out, but he regained control and continued running. At one point, he rammed a patrol vehicle at least twice, escalating the danger to both officers and the public. A decisive pit maneuver was executed, forcing the Chevy Suburban to a complete stop and ending the high-speed pursuit. Richardson was taken into custody shortly after without further incident. Investigators later revealed that Richardson was on probation for a prior DUI and fleeing offense, had a revoked license, and was even linked to a similar incident earlier that same day, making the legal consequences far more severe. What began as a simple traffic violation escalated into a dangerous multi-agency pursuit, proof that repeated reckless decisions don't just intensify the situation, they determine how it ends. In Polk County, Florida, what began as a routine attempt to stop a vehicle quickly escalated into a dangerous pursuit. Deputies attempted to pull over a dark-colored Dodge Charger driven by Brian Shoemaker, but instead of stopping, he fled. The chase rapidly intensified as Shoemaker pushed through busy roadways at high speed, weaving between vehicles and even driving the wrong way down streets. Each intersection became a near disaster, with multiple close calls as he narrowly avoided collisions. Officers maintained pursuit, knowing the situation was becoming increasingly dangerous for everyone on the road. pursuit reached its turning point when an FHP trooper executed a well-timed pit maneuver. The vehicle spun out violently and veered off the roadway into the brush. But even then, it wasn't over.
Spring gatherings. This week, Honeymaked is open extended hours for your convenience. Visit honeymaked.com to place an order for your friends and see our extended
After Shoemaker bailed out of the vehicle and tried to flee, he tripped and fell right in front of a patrol car. Within seconds, officers took him and a female passenger into custody. He later faced multiple charges, including felony fleeing, resisting arrest, driving on a suspended license, and possession of meth and drug paraphernalia. In the end, he was sentenced to 240 days in jail. What started as a routine traffic stop quickly escalated into a high-risk pursuit, a clear reminder that running only delays the inevitable and often makes the consequences far worse. On the 26th of March 2017, what started as a reported theft at a Walmart in Edmond quickly escalated. Officers attempted to stop a vehicle linked to the incident near Santa Fe and Danforth, but instead of pulling over, the driver made a split-second decision to flee.
He hit my car. We're southbound. Kelly approaching Pruitt, 200 score for TBI. Speeds in excess of 70, traffic shielding, southbound from Pruitt. Approaching Kelly, speeds 85, traffic yielding.
The chase intensified as the vehicle sped southbound on Kelly, reaching speeds over 145 miles per hour. The suspects ran red lights, blew through stop signs, and even drove over curbs and across medians to escape. With every mile, the situation became more dangerous, turning busy intersections into near-collision zones and forcing other drivers to react in seconds to avoid disaster.
Westbound from Catherine. Passing Musgrave, spinning out. Okay, Evan, crashed out, hold here, roll over.
The pursuit came to a violent end in Oklahoma City when the suspects turned westbound onto Wilshire Boulevard. As they crested a hill, the driver slammed the brakes, lost control, and crashed head-on into another vehicle. The impact sent debris across the roadway, ending the chase in chaos. Police quickly secured the scene and arrested both suspects, identified as Derek Lamont Benjamin and Sean Deontra Bruner. 4 people, including the suspects and 2 innocent drivers, were transported to the hospital, though thankfully, none suffered life-threatening injuries. Benjamin faced multiple felony charges, including attempting to elude police and an outstanding burglary warrant, later receiving a 10-year sentence. What began as a simple theft turned into a high-speed chase and violent crash, another reminder that reckless attempts to escape often put innocent lives in the path of danger. On the 6th of October 2025, in Bath Township, Michigan, officers attempted to stop a silver SUV linked to a domestic violence case. What began as a targeted stop quickly escalated when the driver refused to pull over on I-96.
36 Central, I'm jumping in. Empty car.
36 lead car, 1207.
He's taking the shoulder. He's doing a U-turn. We'll stop him.
Shoulder, U-turn 07. I'll follow the unit 2, clear, flip back around.
The suspect accelerated, pushing speeds past 100 miles per hour while swerving erratically across lanes. At times, he slowed down deliberately, gesturing out the window as if taunting officers. Then, without warning, he crossed the median using a turnaround and began driving the wrong way into oncoming traffic, forcing vehicles to scatter as near head-on collisions became inevitable.
Eastbound wrong way, eastbound wrong way. Clear, eastbound wrong way, eastbound wrong way.
Westbound and eastbound lanes coming up to Fowlerville. Westbound and eastbound lanes coming up to Fowlerville.
4012, get on that ramp and block it off. Center Square, westbound, eastbound lanes.
093, I'm in the west lane, eastbound.
Or eastbound, left lane.
Going the wrong way, getting off at Fowlerville now, in the grass area.
Coming to Fowlerville.
As the pursuit stretched into Livingston County, deputies coordinated to end it. A precision maneuver finally spun the SUV out near an entrance ramp, forcing it to a stop on the roadside grass. The driver stepped out, still refusing to comply, throwing his hat down and continuing to gesture toward officers. With the situation still volatile, officers deployed a taser and quickly took him into custody. He was later handed over to Bath Township Police without further resistance. What began as an attempt to stop a suspect turned into a wrong-way, high-speed threat. Another reminder that reckless defiance on the road doesn't just escalate danger, it puts every innocent driver directly in harm's way. On the 28th of June, 2025, in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, what began as a minor stop sign violation quickly spiraled out of control. When officers attempted to stop a Honda Civic, the driver refused to comply and chose to flee, prompting police to quickly initiate a pursuit. The pursuit rapidly intensified, with speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour as the Civic pushed toward the Illinois state line. Officers attempted multiple spike strip deployments. Initial attempts failed, but a final set successfully deflated the right side tires. Despite losing tire pressure, the driver continued fleeing, weaving across lanes and even ramming multiple patrol vehicles when officers attempted to box him and escalating the danger even further.
2-9 stopped here.
This is the Pleasant Prairie Police.
With the vehicle compromised and pressure mounting, the pursuit finally came to an end. Officers surrounded the Honda Civic, using commands and a K-9 unit to force compliance. The driver eventually exited, confirming he was alone and that there was a firearm inside the vehicle. He was taken into custody without further incident. Authorities later charged him with felony, fleeing and eluding, multiple counts of reckless endangerment, hit and run, possession of cocaine and drug paraphernalia, and OWI, along with additional violations. What began as a simple stop sign violation turned into a multi-state, high-speed pursuit. Another reminder that the moment someone decides to run, the consequences escalate far beyond the original offense. On the 17th of July, 2025, in Thurston County, Washington, a stolen vehicle alert triggered a traffic stop attempt after Olympia police identified the car through a license plate reader. What should have been a straightforward recovery quickly escalated when the driver refused to pull over.
Received elsewhere is going to be on a code 10 county pursuit on elsewhere.
We're losing sight of traffic, don't know if it's north or south of town.
Received losing sight in traffic unknown as north or south of I-5.
The suspect accelerated onto Highway 101 and I-5 southbound, pushing speeds to extreme levels while weaving across lanes and even using the shoulder to bypass traffic. The pursuit became increasingly dangerous as the driver showed no regard for other motorists, turning the highway into a high-speed hazard zone. Deputies coordinated a strategic response, preparing both spike strips and a more advanced option, the grappler device.
193rd Avenue right now. 80, I'm going to go for a grapple.
Fully PD, go for grapple.
Good grapple, felony stop.
Good grapple.
South at 93rd, we'll be on film stuff.
Let's see some fucking hit.
They don't want to play phony stop?
Just keep a long angle on this. Yeah. Do you guys want to go up on this side or that side? Yeah, let's go. If they got long cover, I'm ready to move whenever you guys are. That's it. That's a good fucking call. I like it. Yeah. Okay, sounds good.
At the right moment, a deputy deployed the grappler at highway speed. The device latched onto the rear tire, instantly disrupting the vehicle's stability. The stolen car fishtailed violently before spinning out and coming to a controlled stop on the roadway. Officers moved in immediately, securing the suspect without further incident. Authorities later confirmed the driver was wanted on multiple felony warrants in King County and was booked for possession of a stolen vehicle and attempting to elude. What began as a stolen car alert ended with a precise tactical stop, proving that while suspects may try to outrun law enforcement, modern tools and coordination often bring the chase to a controlled end. On the 16th of July, 2025, in Thornton, Colorado, officers located a stolen Ram pickup truck and called in Colorado State Patrol for assistance. What should have been a controlled vehicle recovery quickly escalated when the driver refused to stop. The pursuit spilled onto southbound I-25 the early morning hours. Troopers attempted to deploy the grappler device once, but the first attempt failed. The suspect kept pushing forward, forcing officers to stay tight while preparing for another opportunity. Traffic lanes became a high-risk environment as the chase continued at speed.
Copy is also on the highway, section 825 from 84. Will you confirm that plate you cut out? I got Boy Robert Lincoln John 9.
Minutes later, officers deployed the grappler a second time, and this time it worked. The device latched onto the rear wheel, instantly destabilizing the Ram. The truck swerved and spun out before both vehicles struck the median, sending sparks flying and bringing the chase to an end. The suspect fled on foot, but was quickly apprehended by Thornton police. Despite the collision, the officer was not injured, and southbound I-25 was temporarily shut down before reopening. Even with the crash, the grappler once again proved to be a safer alternative, ending high-speed pursuits without resorting to more dangerous tactics. On the 12th of July, 2025, in Genesee County, Michigan, officers with Grand Blanc Township Police attempted to stop a speeding motorcyclist. What they didn't realize at first was that the rider was a wanted felon across multiple states, and he had no intention of stopping.
Oh,
16-8 priority. Southbound. 1680's picking up speeds are about 95. 1680, is there a helicopter available?
The motorcyclist accelerated aggressively, reaching speeds near 95 miles per hour while weaving through traffic and running multiple red lights. With the danger escalating, officers called in air support to track the suspect from above. The pursuit then shifted onto Moorish Road, where conditions changed dramatically. The paved roadway gave way to a narrow dirt path filled with potholes, mud, and uneven terrain, but the rider kept pushing forward at high speed.
Straight through, rambling.
23 perfect.
Pulling the red over 23. Two reds over 23.
Copy, over 23.
We're gonna hurt some shit right now.
Good, John, traffic box in there.
I got it.
Motor kick back up.
The suspect accelerated hard, reaching nearly 130 miles per hour as he sped down the road. Police units followed close behind like a gust of wind, and the high-tension pursuit was far from over. While carrying a female passenger, the suspect sped onto a rough, uneven road and lost control. Officers quickly drew their weapons, ordered him to raise his hands, and moved in to secure the scene and make the arrest. The suspect was later identified as a wanted felon in multiple states, bringing the high-risk pursuit to an end. What began as an escape attempt turned into a high-speed gamble on dangerous terrain, a reminder that once control is lost, the consequences come faster than anyone expects. On the 12th of June 2025, in Livingston County, Michigan, officers located a stolen vehicle traveling southbound on US 23. What began as a recovery attempt quickly escalated when the driver, Jeremy Nelson, refused to stop.
Right City, US 6.
12 then.
12, go ahead.
Central 55 was in the chase.
Central 55, we're ramping off southbound 59.
Clear ramping off the 59, 47, 72, are you clear direct?
I'm 59 at the exit ramp.
Central 55, looks like we're going to be going westbound 59 for 23.
Clear westbound on 59 for 23.
Alright, Central, we're going to be right lane. Heavy traffic, speeds are 45. Looks like you can overlay 59, 123. Still headed westbound.
And for units, it's going to be freshly stolen today out of Washington.
The suspect fled across multiple roads, turning onto Highland Road, heading west, then shifting onto Hughes Road. Speeds climbed from around 45 miles per hour to over 60 miles per hour as he drove aggressively, entering oncoming lanes and running red lights to escape. Police deployed spike strips, but they were unsuccessful. The suspect continued fleeing, sideswiping another vehicle and ignoring all traffic signals.
Forty-seven, 44, and 71, they passed 686, they'll be approaching you.
Alright, we're southbound Hughes. Speeds look like 60 miles an hour. We're approaching Golf Club. See if I can try to shoot it.
They're approaching Golf Club, initiating a
The
pit at
pursuit
6045.
came to a violent end near the intersection of Hughes Road and Golf Club. Failing to stop, the stolen vehicle slammed into a 2020 Chevrolet Silverado. The impact was severe enough to overturn the pickup truck, leaving both vehicles disabled at the scene. Officers quickly secured the area and took Nelson into custody without further incident. The driver of the Silverado, a 66-year-old man, was transported for evaluation, but reported no serious injuries. Nelson was also taken for medical clearance before being lodged at the Livingston County Jail, where he now faces charges including fleeing and eluding and possession of a stolen vehicle. What began as a stolen car recovery ended in a violent crash, another reminder that reckless attempts to escape don't just risk the suspect's fate, they put innocent lives directly in harm's way. On the 15th of September 2022, the suspect, who was driving a pickup truck, had already drawn attention due to online threats targeting law enforcement, the governor, and others. As the pursuit sped through the roads of Arkansas, a state trooper positioned himself ahead, waiting for the right moment. When the truck passed his location, he immediately pulled in behind it and took over as the primary unit in the chase.
Actually, I'm already say please say no fire and get in that we're safe with them. You get a chance to get back to traffic. Meeting. And we're out, that's 156, 107.
The officer executed a decisive maneuver, forcing the pickup truck to crash into the median at high speed before coming to a stop, blocking the roadway. Approaching with caution, the officers discovered that the suspect was armed and even carrying a grenade. However, he ultimately surrendered without resistance and was taken into custody, bringing the dangerous pursuit to an end. On the 30th of March, 2022, Interstate 55 was busy with morning traffic when an officer spotted a dark-colored sedan weaving through lanes at dangerous speeds. Within seconds, that once calm stretch of road turned into the scene of a tense pursuit, pushing both the driver and the police to their limits. At first, it seemed like the escape might succeed. The car sped away, leaving the patrol unit behind, but that advantage didn't last. The officer gradually closed the gap, staying right on its tail, while the suspect's control began to slip. Every swerve, every panicked move, was no longer a way out, but a step closer to his own downfall. Both vehicles slammed into the median, launched into the air before crashing down violently. The suspect's will to escape shattered at the moment of impact. He stepped out of the car and raised his hands, surrendering to the inevitable. Inside the vehicle, officers discovered a handgun, a bag of marijuana, and a scale with residue still on it. When asked why he risked everything, his answer was cold and unsettling. He said he was scared, and that running from the police felt exciting, a pursuit driven by fear, fueled by recklessness, and one that nearly cost him everything. It was on the 15th of May, 2024, when a yellow Dodge Challenger sped through Little Rock, Arkansas. Reckless swerving and careless driving quickly caught the attention of state troopers. What began as a simple traffic violation was about to escalate into a dangerous pursuit through neighborhoods, front yards, and busy streets. When the officer executed the first PIT maneuver, it seemed like the pursuit was over. But Aaron Sadler wasn't ready to surrender. He kept pushing forward, forcing the chase to continue. What he didn't realize was that each desperate move was only bringing him closer to a series of PIT maneuvers waiting ahead. The officer forced the Challenger off the road into a ditch, smashing through a roadside sign before both vehicles came to a complete stop. But Sadler still refused to give up. He jumped out of the car and ran on foot, carrying a heavy backpack in a final attempt to escape. Moments later, he was taken down and arrested. Inside the vehicle and the backpack, officers discovered a dealer's stash: over 4 pounds of marijuana, bottles of promethazine, THC-infused edibles, and thousands of dollars in cash. In addition to charges for fleeing and reckless driving, Sadler also faced possession with intent to distribute serious felonies that brought his escape attempt to a complete end from the very beginning. In Genesee County, Michigan, a call reported gunshots coming from the Joyner Street area. A white Dodge Charger with a cracked windshield and no license plate was identified as the vehicle involved. Residents confirmed hearing shots, but but fortunately, no one was injured. Police quickly mobilized, knowing the suspect was still at large. Just minutes later, the Charger was spotted at a traffic light. Officers attempted a traffic stop, but the driver, identified as Thierry Nazriel Parker, had no intention of complying, and the pursuit officially began.
Cracked windshield matched the description of the shooting vehicle. Door, it's gonna be a scat pack.
Copy, white Dodge Charger, excessive speed.
Still continuing. Eastbound University. Speeds down to 80. Going down for Grand Traverse.
Copy, eastbound approaching Grand Traverse. 3.
Northbound Grand Traverse.
Copy, 3-5.
Westbound 8.
Westbound 8.
Northeast on Ave.
The Dodge Charger Scat Pack sped off at dangerous speeds, tearing through the area. But the Georgia State Trooper trailing behind was not an obstacle easily shaken. With patience and precision, he kept the suspect in sight, steadily closing the gap until the patrol car was right on the Charger's tail.
Eastbound. Second and third car, having a hard time keeping up. Primary units on him. Over one.
Did attempt.
It's a negative on that reported crash. It was a pit maneuver attempt. Looks like you might be trying to get on southbound 75. Or my speed wise. 55,
Copy.
40, 38.
After the second pit maneuver, the Dodge came to a stop on the grass, and the suspect immediately fled on foot. But instead of chasing on foot, the officer stayed behind the wheel, continuing to close in with the patrol car, determined not to let the suspect escape.
He's running, holding his waistband.
Yep, black male, white hoodie, running across the freeway.
Black male, white hoodie, holding his waistband across the expressway.
His right hand. Going back up to the overpass. We got it there.
You got the gun? Now! Put your
A taser deployment brought him down moments after he discarded the weapon. A loaded Glock 45 was recovered, fitted with an extended magazine and a round in the chamber. The Charger was impounded, evidence was seized, and Parker was taken to the Genesee County Jail. The charges included fleeing and eluding, possession of a stolen vehicle, carrying a concealed weapon, resisting police with a firearm, felony firearm, and multiple additional weapons-related offenses. It was on the 6th of February 2024 when a stolen Dodge Ram sped northbound on State Road 87 inches Santa Rosa County. Officers pursued from behind. Spike strips were deployed, but the suspect, Andrew Matejak, 33, suddenly swerved directly toward an officer, nearly striking him, showing he was willing to endanger lives to escape.
He's running in and out of your outside lane. Still on him.
Madiak veered into oncoming traffic, every second carrying the risk of a head-on collision. The tension escalated as other drivers were forced to swerve out of the way, keeping the pursuit on the edge of disaster. When a brief opening appeared, he slid into the middle of the road, straddling both lanes, still driving against traffic and refusing to stop. After the pit maneuver, Madiak jumped out of the vehicle and ran across the road in an attempt to escape. A K-9 unit was deployed, and within minutes, the pursuit ended as he was forced to surrender. The suspect was subdued and treated on scene for a dog bite. Madiak was later taken to the Okaloosa County Jail without bond, facing a series of serious charges: carjacking, aggravated assault, reckless driving, fleeing, resisting arrest, and multiple additional offenses. A high-speed chase, a stolen vehicle, and a suspect willing to risk everything, only to realize that running always ends the same way. On the 12th of August, 2025, in Jones County, Georgia, Sergeant Travis Walker attempted to stop a black BMW on Highway 129 for multiple traffic violations. At first, the driver Demetric Bazzi pulled over, but the situation changed instantly once her active warrants were confirmed. Without warning, Bazzi accelerated and fled, launching a high-speed pursuit that quickly spiraled out of control. Speeds climbed to an astonishing 140 miles per hour as the BMW weaved through traffic, crossed into oncoming lanes, and pushed the limits of control. The chase stretched across multiple roadways, with every second increasing the risk to everyone on the road. Sergeant Travis Walker attempted to stop Demetric Bazzi in Ellenwood due to multiple active warrants. During the pursuit, speeds reached up to 140 miles per hour, posing a serious threat to lives, but the suspect showed no intention of stopping. The turning point came when the BMW slowed slightly while attempting a turn. Seizing the moment, the pursuing deputy executed a precise pit maneuver. The impact sent the vehicle off the roadway and into a ditch, ending the high-speed chase in a cloud of dust. Officers moved in immediately, securing and arresting the occupants without further incident. Authorities confirmed the driver had multiple active warrants, explaining the desperate attempt to flee. What began as a traffic stop escalated into a 140 miles per hour pursuit, another reminder that running from the law doesn't erase the problem. It only makes the consequences far more severe. On a stretch of I-85 inches, Georgia, a Georgia State Patrol trooper clocked a Jeep speeding at over 100 miles per hour. The driver, 18-year-old Ryan Patrick Johnston, was already driving aggressively when the trooper activated lights and sirens, but he refused to stop. The pursuit escalated quickly as the Jeep continued at high speed through Coweta County. Despite clear signals from law enforcement, Johnston kept going, putting multiple drivers at risk. The situation became even more serious when it was clear there were multiple occupants in the vehicle, including a child, raising the stakes of every second the chase continued.
I paid the leg.
Out of the vehicle. Get on the ground. All the way on the ground. All the way on the ground. Everybody out of the vehicle. Come towards me. Come on.
With speeds still hovering around 102 miles per hour, the trooper made a decisive move. A high-speed PIT maneuver was executed, sending the Jeep off the roadway and into the grass, forcing it to stop before the danger could escalate further.
On the expressway, you would not pull over. You would not pull over. Is everybody out of the vehicle? All right, everybody get out here. 673, the green. I need a do around. Move the phone out. I got it. You got a phone? Come on. Yeah, I tried to pull you over. I followed you from. I got on the expressway to 28. Followed you all the way to 32. I got right behind you with my lights, with my lights flaring.
Literally, I was trying to push in the road.
And I pitted you at 102 miles per hour. I did, yes.
Send me into the shoes.
Yes. To get you off the expressway because you're running 102 miles per hour. Well, you should have pulled over. Well, you should have pulled over.
That does not work.
All 5 occupants were detained at the scene. Johnston claimed he didn't see the police and questioned the maneuver, but officers made it clear the real danger was the speed and reckless driving. He was taken into custody and charged with felony fleeing, with further investigation revealing signs of alcohol involvement. What began as speeding turned into a high-risk pursuit, another reminder that ignoring law enforcement at extreme speeds doesn't just risk a crash, it risks every life on the road. On the 8th of December, 2023, in Minnesota's West Metro, troopers attempted to stop a Mercedes SL 550 with Iowa plates after clocking it at 79 miles per hour and observing erratic driving. What began as a routine stop quickly escalated when the driver refused to pull over.
Iowa 28, Lincoln, Edward Yellow, 742. Be a Jaguar or a Mercedes? Driver is driving over the fog line.
23, NCIC clear.
The pursuit intensified along southbound Highway 77, with speeds climbing to nearly 120 miles per hour. The driver pushed the vehicle to its limits, weaving through traffic and maintaining a dangerous pace. As troopers stayed in pursuit, the suspect attempted to exit onto Highway 13, still at high speed, creating a critical moment where control was slipping away.
One running off the exit.
Copy, we have him on camera. White male, red shirt, black jacket, white shoes, brown pants. Running southbound 77 under 13.
10-4, there's a female in the car. She's cooperative, does not know who he is.
Got him going over across traffic onto the northbound side now.
At 10-4, there are any locals that can go there. I'm going to hang out with the car here. That's what.
That's where we have Dakota en route. We still have him on camera. He's just ran across the northbound lanes on the ramp to 13 south.
Right at the exit, after officers fired 3 shots, the suspect lost control and crashed, bringing the high-speed pursuit to an end. But it wasn't over yet. He jumped out of the vehicle and fled on foot, running across active traffic lanes in a desperate attempt to escape. A female passenger remained at the scene and cooperated with police, while the suspect initially got away. However, he left behind multiple identifying clues, and just a few hours later, a citizen recognized him at a gas station and alerted authorities. The suspect was identified as Alex Robert Quevedo Holmes, facing multiple charges, including felony fleeing. The violations that followed carried consequences far beyond the initial pursuit. What began as a speeding offense turned into a chase, a crash, and a manhunt, proving that even if someone escapes in the moment, the consequences will always catch up. On the 11th of June 2022, around 3:18 a.m., a Georgia State Patrol trooper spotted a black Lexus speeding at 87 miles per hour in a 55 miles per hour zone on Georgia 73 near Interstate 16. What looked like a simple speeding stop quickly escalated when the driver, later identified as Lewis Grace, refused to pull over.
Clear left. Right turn. Hit. Unsuccessful. Another contact unsuccessful.
The Lexus accelerated aggressively onto I-16 westbound, pushing speeds close to 130 miles per hour. The driver weaved through traffic, squeezed between vehicles, and showed no intention of stopping. Multiple pit attempts were made but failed as the Lexus continued to outrun the patrol car. The suspect exited onto Excelsior Church Road, ran a stop sign, and continued at extreme speed, sometimes even driving in the wrong lane through curves, nearly losing control.
Wrong side of the roadway in the curve. Wrong side of the road in the curve. Clear right, clear left. Blue is not trying 46. Clear. Blue stop sign G Street. Blue stop sign Street.
The pursuit finally reached its breaking point on McElveen Pond Road. As the Lexus made a sudden turn onto the dirt road, it lost control and entered a ditch. Moments later, both vehicles came to a stop after a final impact that disabled them, ending the chase in a cloud of dust and debris. The trooper quickly exited, drew his sidearm, and ordered the driver to the ground. Lewis Grace initially hesitated but eventually complied and was taken into custody. Officers observed signs of alcohol impairment, and Grace admitted he had been drinking. He was later charged with felony fleeing, DUI, reckless driving, and multiple traffic offenses. What began as a speeding violation turned into a high-speed pursuit at over 130 miles per hour. Another reminder that reckless decisions behind the wheel can escalate into life-threatening situations within seconds. On the 7th of February 2022, along Interstate 85 South in Georgia, a Georgia State Patrol trooper initiated a traffic stop on a Chevrolet Malibu for speeding at 93 miles per hour and making an unsafe lane change. At first, the driver complied, but the situation quickly took a turn when her identity didn't match the information she provided. As the trooper worked to verify her identity, everything changed in an instant. The driver suddenly accelerated, cutting across lanes and nearly colliding with another vehicle as she fled. The pursuit escalated. Fast speeds climbed past 100 miles per hour and even over 130 miles per hour as she tore through traffic, used the shoulder to pass cars, and ran red lights. The danger peaked as she pushed through busy roads and even a marked school zone, showing no regard for anyone around her.
Hey, sorry, 545, with that, start fire for me. Gonna be at the intersection of OP3 and Cross Point Way. Knock out her out. Start fire for me. So sounds supposed to be on that. I'll be out. You all want in the car?
Huh?
You all want in there?
You said what?
Nobody else in there? No kids in there?
You said the keys?
Kids. Nothing else? Nobody else in there?
Can you get my phone?
Nah, it's gonna be done. Ain't no kids, nobody else in there.
No.
You want to be checked out? You want EMS to come pick you out? I'm gonna move. Let's move to this lane. We'll let that flow straight. I'm gonna close this lane. I'm gonna let that flow. Hey. Yeah. Hey. I was gonna back up, close this lane, and let this one flow. You think so? Keep it flowing. What you say?
Yeah, that's fine.
When I go, you get a 52, and also, you get a 51 around.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry, man.
Sorry, on fire. Hey, Court. Nah, she in my car. Court, do you want to move it over?
Yeah.
Close that lane and let this flow.
Okay.
No, that's you.
Yeah.
Let it. I can see smoke at the fire at the bottom. If you can. Yeah, it's on fire now. I can see fire there. Yeah, got a fire extinguisher? Got a little bit. You see it? I ain't even got no.
Yeah. Good?
Yeah. Sorry I left it like that. I couldn't reach it. I don't know if it's still running or not. I couldn't. I just pulled her out and started smoking. And, do you know your license number?
Yeah, 06.
Thank you.
What's the charges?
We'll see.
That's me.
This car got a fire extinguisher?
Yeah. To the truck.
The chase came to an end when the trooper forced a stop at an intersection on Old Peachtree Road. With a controlled push, the patrol unit pinned the Chevrolet Malibu against the curb, disabling it. Smoke and flames began to rise from underneath the vehicle as it finally came to a stop. The trooper immediately pulled the driver from the smoking car and took her into custody. She repeatedly apologized, saying, "My bad, sir," but the damage had already been done. Authorities confirmed her license was suspended, a violation that could have resulted in a simple citation. Instead, one impulsive decision turned it into a high-speed pursuit through a school zone, proving once again that running only makes the consequences far worse.